Hello. I've never done this before, and I just want to say I've had a lot of fun doing this process, drawing this character. This is my OC, Whisper for what's his face? The Freak Circus. And I real talk wanted to do this ever since the whole thing with AI came out on IDV. And I was just like, you know what? It's about time I just start getting my act together and stop holding back. Because for a while, I had to back away real quick. For a while, I've been holding off on doing this. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I was afraid or I didn't know how to do it. But I was like, all I gotta do is just record. I don't gotta talk. I just gotta draw. So that's what I did. I started drawing. I started making this sketch and all that stuff. And I was also just talking to you guys in the process. But I also was trying out different methods that I also learned. I was trying the peanut method. I had to redo the peanut method. And then I was just thinking, like, while I'm doing this, I'll try to open some other stuff. So I started grabbing music and like songs that I haven't listened to in a while. And I just started going into this flow state. I was trying to figure out how to draw feet because freaking I didn't know how to draw feet. When I got to the line art, bro, I accidentally made the foot too big, bigger than like practically the body. So then I had to shrink it. There was just so much stuff. But as I was drawing this sketch and all that stuff, and this is the first time I've ever used Clip Paint Studio. I had to like get this subscription and everything after trying it a couple times and realizing how fun it was. Compared to Fire Alpaca, I had a better time using this than anything else. It really helped me out a lot. I was so happy to have done this. And to make things even more funny, um while I was messing around and, trying everything, I was looking up art tutorials, looking at anatomy, listening to Blue Biscuit, or is it Biscuit Blue? I'll add the link in the description. She was teaching me about anatomy and such and teaching me how to draw hands. While I probably didn't do good with the hands for the line out and all that stuff, I did have fun with it. So at the end of the day, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters. Point is that I literally realized that I wanted to make my OC plus sized. And it just reminded me of what's happening with IDV for a second. IDV as a game has had such a diverse setting and has such a diverse outlook on each of these characters. And then when I look at Joker Studio and NetEase, I also note that while they are diverse, they do have negative connotations, such as racism, whitewashing, removing features, trying to modernize these characters, and beridding features that are important to them, such as their disabilities, their black features, um features that are like part of their character that correlates to their whole story and character as a whole. And when I first noticed that, I called it out. It was prevalent with the racism and all that stuff, and people have tried to like silence me and tell me it's not that big of a deal and that I'm complaining and making a big deal out of nothing. And I argued because how are you going to tell me it's not a big deal when racism is the very thing that's causing this to happen? And then there was the incident where a content creator called Patricia a monkey. And I know what y'all are thinking. You've already told us this. Yes, 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 I have. But the reason why I'm bringing it up is because each thing that people do, including influential groups such as NetEase as a company, a multimillionaire company, many companies that create games and add people of color and add dark-skinned characters along with black characters, it's their job to do something that'll create a positive influence and a positive outlook. Sure, there'll be people who are racist no matter what, but the thing is that we're trying to be rid of racism. We're not trying to have racism be the only thing that ends up thriving. We don't want that to thrive. We want that to simmer and just burn out. And people always try to say, "Oh, well, it's going to happen no matter what." That shouldn't be the case. I shouldn't have to give up whether I shouldn't have to give up my comfortability because, oh, well, racism is always going to exist. You have to get over it. That makes no sense. That makes no sense, and you all know that makes no sense. That's but because it's uncomfortable and it's an uncomfortable topic to talk about, and it's outside of the status quo that society has set and forced upon us. You guys don't like it when I talk about it. By you guys, I mean the general rhetorical type situation. And so, uh, sorry, I cut out there. I was talking to my sibling. We were just joking around. But yeah, point is that I don't want to sit in uncomfortability while everybody sits in privilege, knowing that they won't face a negative outlook. Because to dismiss it and say it's not that deep, that means you're also not looking at the diverse outlook of it. This is the well, how do I say it in terms of levels? This isn't just about the AI. This is about the removal of disabilities, the removal of dark features, the removal of dark skin characters, simply the removal of art as a whole. It's why as I draw this, I keep thinking how much fun I'm having drawing this and how much fun I'm gonna have drawing Piero and all the other characters now that I'm getting the hang of this drawing aspect. While I do have a hard time drawing the characters, I know that I'm gonna learn as I continue drawing. That's the whole point of art as a whole. You learn from it and you make progress. It's not going to be as easy as the snap of my finger. Literally, as I was drawing this, I wanted to get it done easily, but I realized I have work, I have to eat, I have to do all this stuff. If I don't do all the stuff that's part of the day to day process, I'll burn myself out. And I didn't want that. So while I was like drawing, I was like, I'm going to take my time with this. And as I'm talking about this, it's been 7 minutes as we're going on. I was like, I'm not going to talk for 28 full minutes. I'm just going to like let the music play in the background and occasionally add some random lo-fi within the video just to show how like sometimes taking a break is needed. And since we're also on the topic of breaks, just know that um when I said that I was probably going to do some videos like Minecraft videos and all that stuff, it was a hit or miss because I tried and it didn't work out so much. So I believe I'll have to look up tutorials for that. There's like I said, this is my first time doing all this. I would always make what's the face? I would always do IDV content and then I'll just go to CapCut and then just record voice over it, or I'll just have music playing in the background. Or I'll take random clips, make funny stuff out of it. And that takes a while, and I tend to rush. That's my that's my fault and that's my own problem. That's something I need to work on throughout this year. Patience is key and practice makes progress. That's also what I got to say about the stuff I'm doing right now. Like whenever I see tutorials, I realize that each time I'm like trying to draw throughout these tutorials, I rush. The person who did this, they just sped it up by like probably, I don't know which speed, but probably like 8 or something, and it just came out faster. Patience, again, patience is key. Practice makes progress. No, it doesn't make perfect. That is a saying that people tend to say because, that's stuff you want to hear, but no, that's not true at all. It makes progress, makes improvement. And sometimes it doesn't make improvement. Sometimes you just need a break and you just need to watch people for the sake of it. Like when I took a break from drawing for a bit because I felt a bit stressed out. And the next day I immediately was thinking like, "Oh my gosh, I could draw this. I should redraw that. I could redo my ref. I could redo my Sona ref. I could redo all this stuff." And it made me realize that I for real. And people will say, "Oh, it doesn't matter what pen you use or what app you use. It's just you know." It sometimes does depend on the app or like the pen. And this is coming from somebody who also thought that it wasn't true because I thought I was just genuinely bad at art. No, it is. When I started using a specific pen on Procreate, I thought, wow, my art is slightly improving. But then after a while, I felt my art deteriorating. And I realized it wasn't the pen, it was just me being impatient and also the app itself. I needed a break from Procreate because Procreate as a whole, I consider it an app to use for like making fun sketches and stuff. And also, you can occasionally animate on there for like silly videos and such, which is what I did that one time when I made that Freak Circus skit. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use this for a silly little sketch type thing. And actually, this would be a good time to be right back too. Okay, I'm back. It was just a couple seconds. But as I was saying about the Freak Circus video, I that took me a while. That took me an hour. And then I took a break, went to go eat dinner, and I felt good about that. And throughout that whole process, I was like looking up stuff, taking my time, just drawing silly little things, not put I won't say I didn't put a lot of effort, but I didn't put too much attention to it because again, it was an animatic. I just wanted to do it for fun. And that's the thing. Art is meant to be fun, but it's also meant to like be something serious in terms of like how you want to take it. Some people take art too seriously and it sometimes leads to burnout. Other times, people have fun with art and it doesn't lead to burnout, but it also leads to like this idea and mindset that, oh, you need to take art seriously because people draw this. Well, no, people can draw art however they desire. For me, I like to be silly with my art and I also like to take it seriously in terms of characterizing each of these characters. For a great while, I've been working on trying to make this visual novel and this original web comic for myself because was worried about I was worried that I wouldn't be able to tell my story about my life. And for a while I I was real talk worried. I thought I wouldn't progress because it felt like every time I used Procreate I would be progressing, then I would regress, and I would progress and I would regress because I was rushing. Take breaks when need be. Do not just try to do it in one go. That'll hurt you. And I believe that's what NetEase wants. They want it done in one go, one and done, when that isn't how art works. Do y'all remember on the last anniversary with Composer's S tier package skin? That skin was so beautiful along with the concept arts that I literally had to look at it for a good period of time. I honestly believe that if NetEase just saw how much people appreciated the concept arts and appreciated them for hiring artists to make something as beautiful as that, they would realize that we don't care about the AI. We don't want the AI to be there. We don't want to spend thousands of dollars on something that was created by AI. We want to spend thousands of dollars. I'm not gonna front. I'd rather spend thousands of dollars on a skin that had like a bunch of concept arts and such, and it's for a character I didn't like. I don't like Richard, but if I saw concept arts of his skin and I saw these different sets of concept arts, I literally would spend $100 just to get that. You thought of this and this was the final design? All right, bet I'm getting it. I don't even like Richard. And I would do that. I would help my sibling get it cuz Richard's their favorite character. I don't like him, but you want him? All right, bet. Now I'm not getting the skins that came out. The crossover, I'm not getting that. With the AI, I can't. When it comes to AI, when you discover that something was made by AI, you can't help but look at the other art that that the company did with it, and you can't help but sit there and be like, how am I supposed to appreciate it if I can't tell which is AI or not? Then we have the Lucky and Seer skin. I can't tell if that's AI, but we can tell that there's something wrong because the designs look lazy. That is heartbreaking when you think about it. I can't appreciate something now because now I know that you guys have been using AI since the cage of yesteryear. That is not only heartbreaking, but it's also really telling as to where their priorities are set. And it's not a good priority. Now, continuing on, now that I'm done ranting about that, I also wanted to talk about the upcoming game Tomodachi Life. I know y'all are sitting there like, dang, you was just hitting us with the heavy feels and now Tomodachi Life is on the topic. Yeah, it is. I just want y'all to know that I will be having a good long playlist of the Tomodachi Life gameplay, and I hope you guys will are willing to enjoy it with me because I'm gonna have lots of fun with it. Now, I know I apologize. I had to cut off there. I don't know how much it cut off, but as I was saying, Tomodachi Life playlist. I'm gonna make a whole playlist for that, and I also wanted to know if you guys would enjoy that. I mean, I know I would. I would if nobody watches it, then oh well. I'm still gonna do it because again, Tomodachi Life, living the dream. I'm definitely gonna play that game. I'm gonna have fun. Now, before I end this video or end this talking, I just want y'all to know to not give up and to not to not feel too defeated when you see this AI's trying to make its mark. Because let me tell you right now, Nettie's doing that, they practically set themselves up for failure. Let me tell you, when they did that, their stocks went down by a lot. I don't know how much. I think it was like $112 or 112,000 grand. I'm not sure. You can look it up. You'll find some of it on Twitter and you'll also find some of it on Instagram and TikTok. And I know what y'all are thinking, those are not reliable sources, but in terms of like looking it up on Google, you can also look it up there, or you can look at the reviews. Their reviews went from 4-star to 3 stars. Now, before you guys go over there to give it a bunch of reviews, do not put it at 1. They can easily just get rid of that. Put it at 2 and then put your critiques. They will not listen to 1-star reviews. They'll listen to 2 stars, sadly, I know, like I say sadly because it's still giving them a plus, but it's still a negative in some way, shape, or form. 1-star reviews, from what I've noticed, they easily can get deleted, which is crazy. But if you put 2-star reviews, it puts them in an uncomfortable position. It forces them to acknowledge it, which is why we're heading into the anniversary 8 of IDV, and NetEase and Joker Studios are going to do everything in their power to make us come back. They're going to put a bunch of skins out. They're setting up all this stuff to distract us. Do not fall for it. All right. I'm going to end this here. I hope you guys enjoy the line art process and all that stuff because I'm gonna stay a bit longer. As I was making this, I realized I had to do a sketch 1, sketch 2, and I also had to like do clothes. I didn't realize how much fun that was. Every time I did it, I would get annoyed because I didn't like the way the clothes look, and I didn't like the way the body looked either. And I realized after looking at a bunch of tutorials, I didn't do a sketch process for both of them. Put any I didn't put any like processing for them to like make them feel alive. It didn't look good in my perspective. So yeah, you see me coloring in the sketch and all that stuff. I'm trying to set it up to where it can look lively. Okay, now I'm ending this here. I've been talking for like 20 minutes. I don't think anybody's gonna sit through 20 minutes of me ranting and drawing, but if you do, then props to you. You can listen to this in the background. I don't mind. Thank you for listening and peace out. I'm going to head to work. See y'all later.